Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day. Heidi, do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is, well, you know what? Since it's a weekend, let's do the Hold Harn weekend. Saturday, September the 19th, National Butterscotch Pudding Day. I like that, but I would never say I've ever craved it.
No, I've never.
But if you have some, you don't go, yeah, this is awful. Like,
No,
I like it.
I don't
it's good.
like it.
It's Talk Like a Pirate Day, National Dance Day, National Gymnastics Day, Boys and Girls Club Day Saturday, also Puppy Mill Awareness Day, National Cleanup Day, and Responsible Dog Ownership Day. All of that on the 19th, which is Saturday. Sunday the 20th, National Fried Rice Day. I bet our son's going to celebrate.
Oh, he loves that
loves
stuff.
Fried rice. National Pepperoni Pizza Day. Oh, I bet I'm going to celebrate. National Punch Day. And I don't know if that means like punch somebody or drink punch.
I think it means drink
Hopefully
punch.
it does. Wife Appreciation Day Sunday as well. So I'm going to appreciate you on Sunday.
Oh, that'll be a nice change.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I always appreciate you. And National String Cheese Day. All of that happening this weekend. And we appreciate you listening to The John and Heidi Show.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. And Bill Murray's 1993 classic Groundhog Day, one of my favorite movies, by the way. It is more relevant today than ever before, according to a survey of 2,000 Americans. In total, 62% of them said every day just kind of feels the same lately. During the pandemic, they're like, my schedule doesn't change. Just kind of fell into this little groove, and every day is the same. So I hope that's not the case for everybody, though. Just 62%. Do you kind of feel that way? I know there have been days we were halfway through the day, we forgot what day it was.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that happens a lot.
What is today? Today's what? It's the weekend? Okay. So there you go. I've got a link to that study in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A couple of guys got in a fight in Florida at a nightclub where the fight was broken up. One of the men, 35-year-old Charles Thompson Schneider, hopped into his Jeep SUV and drove off. The problem is, it wasn't his Jeep. It was the other guy's Jeep. The guy that he had been fighting 5 minutes earlier, Luis Alvarez. The incident happened at a place called Woody's, and it says here the Jeep was running when he jumped in and drove off. Luckily, Alvarez still had the key fob, so as he drove off, he pushed a button somehow and made it so it turned off, the security button on the fob, caused the Jeep to come to a screeching halt. Schneider, however, kept revving the engine, so apparently it was still running, but he couldn't drive, trying to get it to nudge forward. His speech was slurred and had strong alcohol smell coming from him when officers got there. He failed a sobriety test and was taken to jail. So, yeah, bad idea. That's what happens, though, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Backlash against the French film Cuties continues to escalate online. Objectors now demanding Netflix cancel the show in response to the movie's perceived sexualization of children. If you've not seen a preview for that, first of all, I'm not going to tell anybody they should go looking for it because it's to me very creepy that anybody would even want to watch that. Like it, and I understand there are people like, no, that's not what it's supposed to be. Okay, but
it's nasty. I saw some of the dances and stuff. They were just
these
disgusting.
are little kids. You shouldn't be doing that. Now I sound really old. Okay, Saturday Night Live is set to resume their filming in studio episodes next month, October. NBC did not say whether or not there would be an audience in the studio. 46th season for Saturday Night Live. So whether they have an audience in studio or not, I wonder if they have an audience at home watching. I hope so. I always liked it, but it's not as funny. It's not
the same.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like all, I don't know, for whatever reason, it seems like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem as good. I'll move on. You're listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, your scoop of the day, it comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Money cannot buy us love. Well, maybe it can, apparently, buy us happiness. According to this study, it says, if you make at least $75,000 a year or more, you're going to be happier. The study examined the response of not quite 500,000 people, 450,000 Americans, and they found as your income increases, you increase the number of, the amount of happiness.
Yeah, of course. You don't have to stress every day.
And that's the thing. The stress number decreases.
Yeah.
Until income of $75,000. It says anything above that point, by the way, did not improve happiness anymore. Meaning, that's kind of like the happiness sweet spot. Anything more than that, it's like, I'm not any happier.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'd sure love to give it a try.
I would too.
How much more you want to throw? Let's see how that... I saw somebody posted something about this years ago. And it said, I'd like to try crying on a yacht for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know. Canadian karaoke bar could face a fine. 30 cases of COVID-19 were linked to this establishment, and apparently they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing, so they're in trouble. Pfizer says that it should know if the coronavirus vaccine works by the end of October. Mm-hmm. So that's who's working on that. And then, I've heard this name, but I don't know much about it. Lululemon, you know what that is?
Yeah.
Luluemon. How would you describe Lululemon?
Isn't it like leggings and stuff?
So it's like, so here's what it is. They say it's worth $40 billion.
Okay.
And they're known for selling $128 yoga pants.
Yeah.
That's who Lululemon is. And they posted an event on Instagram that urged people to, quote, resist capitalism. Wait a minute.
Oh, wow. Isn't that precious?
You're worth $40 billion. You sell yoga pants to rich people, and you're saying, hey, we don't like rich people no more.
Well, good luck. Okay. Good luck getting people to continue to buy your $128 pants.
The thing that's interesting is the amount of backlash they've gotten from this online. It does not matter to me at all because I don't even know them. I'm not going to buy any more or less yoga pants than I have in the past because I've never needed yoga pants. Connecticut health officials say 5 people have been infected with a flesh-eating bacteria from the Long Island Sound. What is that all about?
Yikes.
Just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any more bizarre. And then I think we got room for just one more thing here. We'll do, you know what? I'm not going to do either of those. Here we go. A tiger on the loose spotted in Knoxville, Tennessee last week. Trap had been set, and they say if the animal's caught, it'll be taken to Tiger Haven. A Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency spokesperson said, can you imagine walking out in your yard and seeing a tiger run past?
Yeah, that'd be something.
That would be very interesting. I don't want that to happen, so somebody find that tiger. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. About once a month, we reach out to our friend Jordan Goodman. He's a super smart guy, written several books on the topic of finances. He is America's Money Answers Man. Welcome to the program, Jordan.
Great to be with you, John.
And it's great to have you with us. Now, 2020 has been a very interesting year for many things, but especially when it comes to finances. And let's just kind of give people a snapshot of 2020 so far, because there have been highs, there have been lows. It's been kind of an interesting roller coaster ride. So tell us about 2020.
Well, things are going really well at the beginning, and then the pandemic hit, and the stock market plummeted over 30% into March. And then it's come back extremely strongly. It's been one of the strongest bull markets we've ever seen from the March lows to where we are now, basically because they're anticipating we're going to get some kind of a vaccine and treatment, and we'll get the whole coronavirus things behind us. Even though it hasn't happened yet, there's a lot of hope on Wall Street that it will happen. And the Federal Reserve has been pouring literally trillions of dollars into the market to get things moving as well. So the combination of hope and cash has made the stock market go up dramatically, even though things are hurting on Main Street, because they really don't have a new rescue package now. They tried, and recently the Senate proposed a $300 billion rescue package. The Democrats said that wasn't close to enough, so that died. So it looks unlikely at this point that we're going to get any kind of new rescue package before the election.
Now, there have been highs and lows in 2020, and during some of the lows, they had put some moratoriums on things like evictions. So people who have mortgage payments they couldn't make, people who have rent payments they couldn't make, the rules kind of changed for a while. But a lot of those programs have come to a close, so I'm sure there's at least some people listening that maybe have found themselves in kind of a weird spot right now. Do you have some advice for those people?
So there's two moratoriums that have now ended. One of them is on foreclosures if you don't make your mortgage payments, and the second one is on evictions if you don't make your rent payments. So on the mortgage side, what you can do is do what's called forbearance, where you miss 2 or 3 or 4 payments, and the lender agrees to that. They're not going to go on forever, John. They're going to go on for a while, but not forever. And then the next thing you need to do is what's called a mortgage modification, where you modify the mortgage to either a lower interest rate, you owe less principal, you stretch out the payments. There's a lot of different things you can do, but you've got to modify your existing contract. I actually have a resource at moneyanswers.com called Mortgage Modification that can help you do that because you need a lawyer to be able to figure out how to do this thing right. It's a specialized field. On the rental side, you've got to communicate with your landlord. Landlords are hurting too. I mean, they've had, in many cases, many months without receiving the rent they would normally expect. I've heard as many as 40% of people are not paying all or part of their rent in full every month these days. But you got to communicate. The landlord would really rather not evict you, but you got to communicate. The worst thing you can do is go into a bunker somewhere and think it'll all go away. It only gets worse if you know the problem. So those are some of the things you can do if you're facing either foreclosure or eviction.
And 2020 has been such a bizarre year, but it's different for everybody. There are some people who they've never missed a day of work all year long because they were essential workers and they were working really hard the whole time. There's others who have had maybe a window in their employment that is now filled back in, but there's still some that they're still not back to work and they're maybe looking for work. Do you have advice for people who are in that situation right now where they're trying to figure out what they're going to do to kind of get their life maybe back on track in 2020?
Well, you've got to skinny down to the absolute necessities and try to survive the situation. We currently have 29 million Americans receiving unemployment benefits of some type. Now, lately it's gotten a little bit better. The number of claims has been going down. The latest week was 884,000, which is pretty horrible, but it had been 1.1 million for a long time. So without a new rescue package, as I said, I don't think what's going to be coming out of Congress. Don't expect to get bailed out by Uncle Sam, so you got to rely on other things. There's a whole world of online jobs that you can take. So I think that's the way for people to go. See if there's some things you can do online that'll help you kind of get through this very tough time.
Very nice. Now, do you have links to this on your website then, Jordan?
I do. I've got a whole bunch of online courses that you can take and online resources that can really help you get through this very tough time. All of it at the Resource Center at MoneyAnswers.com.
Jordan, thank you again for taking the time to chat with us once again this month.
Well, thanks so much, John. Tough time, but people can get through it.
Absolutely. And once again, Jordan's website, if you're looking for help, you can find him at MoneyAnswers.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
They say in South Dakota it's illegal to fall down and sleep in a cheese factory. Now, here's the thing. I was born and raised in South Dakota. I don't ever remember that being a law. Then again, I
probably never fell asleep in a cheese factory.
The other thing is, I don't know if there are many cheese factories in South Dakota. So, have to.
Yeah, I can't think of a single one.
Yeah, I don't know. But maybe it might have been a big thing way back when this law was made. I don't know. Have to reach out to some of my friends that are, in high places in South Dakota to find out, hey, can you tell me if this law is still on the books? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline Egypt. Egyptian officials discovered a dozen untouched 2,500-year-old mummies. Some say this is just an attempt to boost tourism in Egypt. So I saw you chimed in on this on Facebook because you said, let's not open those in 2020.
Yeah, don't touch those.
This year's
Leave them alone.
I was reading about, because when you posted that, I thought, when was King Tut? Was that 100 years ago? And it was less than that. It was in the 1920s, so It wasn't quite 100 years ago, if I remember correctly. I think it was maybe 23, 24, whatever.
I don't know.
But the thing that was interesting is there were, like, a lot of weird things that happened to the people who were involved in discovering and opening and
leave them alone.
Yeah, so
let them rest in peace.
Maybe we just leave that. Yeah, that's probably a good plan.
Have you ever seen The Mummy?
Yeah. Thanks for listening to a news headline from somewhere in this world.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. 3 customers were injured in a very bizarre accident where a 90-year-old driver crashed his car into a Florida bank. The crash happened Tuesday of last week. Bank of America. A man was pulling into a parking spot right in front of the entryway, and he meant to hit the brake, but he hit the gas instead. Crashed through the glass doors, traveled about 75 feet, which is a long way, into the bank before it came to a stop. 57-year-old woman inside seriously injured, taken to a hospital. Another customer, an 85-year-old man, minor injuries. The driver had minor injuries, and a 77-year-old woman riding with him was unharmed, thank goodness. Highway Patrol did not say whether the driver was cited for the crash, so I would assume so. Driving through a bank, that you'd think you'd get some sort of violation for that.
Right.
Otherwise, everybody's going to start doing it. Okay, maybe not. That is today's Weird News, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A judge sentenced a 24-year-old Ohio woman to 90 days, Ninety, 90 days, 90, after she climbed through a McDonald's drive-thru window and attacked the employees because she didn't get a cookie. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a just
know if 90
sentence.
days is enough. That's 3 months, basically.
Yeah.
It's truly shocking, said the judge during the sentencing. You spit on one employee during a pandemic. And what is the reason for the attack? You didn't get a cookie? As part of the plea deal, the judge found her guilty of attempted assault and criminal damages. She'll also be placed on probation when she finishes her sentence and ordered to complete an anger management class. So,
yeah, that's
I don't
probably
know
good.
if she was under the influence of something, but she climbed through a drive-through window and assaulted 3 workers at a McDonald's because she didn't get a cookie. You know what you could have done is said, "Hey, can I get a cookie?"
She probably tried that and they didn't give it to her.
know.
You know what I miss? You remember when they used to have the little boxes of cookies at McDonald's? They had the little chocolate chip ones. Those were so yummy.
I haven't seen those in a long time.
No, they don't have them anymore. Now they
don't?
make just regular cookies. And who wants just a regular cookie?
Well, I don't know. You should climb through the window.
Apparently the lady who climbed through the window wants a regular cookie.
This is today's moment of duh.
Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. At this point in the program, I hand the microphone to my beautiful bride, Heidi, for just a second, because like anything more than that, I'm really concerned. But I ask her to tell me if this is a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick her and amuse me. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fake news or Florida? A Florida burglar told police his horse broke into a home and he only went in to get the horse. Fake news or Florida?
That was Florida.
It was Florida.
I remember it.
I remember that too. Yeah, they went to get this guy. But when they got there, wasn't the horse already out of the house?
Oh, I don't remember.
I was thinking that when they got there.
I could see if your horse wandered in someplace and you went in to go get it out.
Yeah, but if your horse goes in the house, you get the horse.
But if you were coming out with the horse and a bunch of stuff, that probably isn't going to fly.
His horse, and I thought this was his DVD player. All right, this has been Fake News or Florida on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. And I'm always amazed at the things that, like, modern health officials have figured out how to do. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because I have no idea what I'm trying to say.
The marvels of modern medicine.
There you go. Hey, well, that sounds really good. That's pretend I said what she said. But here's the headline. 12-year-old boy cured of sickle cell disease after stem cell transplant, not treatment.
That's awesome.
Transplant. So a 12-year-old boy in Indianapolis, he's been cured of something that he's been dealing with his whole life, sickle cell disease, thanks to a bone marrow donor. And that is the coolest thing ever. For people who are donating blood, donating bone marrow, you're making differences in people's lives.
I understand donating bone marrow is very painful.
Yeah, I've heard the exact same thing. Elliot was born with sickle cell disease. It's an inherited blood disease, which leads to blockages that prevent blood from reaching body parts. So there's parts of his body that wouldn't get any circulation. His mother said because of the sickle cell, Elliot was always a kid who struggled with energy levels and stamina. He got dehydrated very easily. Said, when I was younger, I played sports a lot, but then I got too cold from my sickle cell. That's why I had to quit my sports, my baseball, my soccer. That's what Elliot said. A year ago, he received a stem cell transplant, and now doctors say he is completely free of the disease.
Wow.
And he says, I can't wait to go back to playing sports that he once loved.
Good
and
for
there's
him.
a
That's
video,
awesome.
a video in the show notes and on this page that you'll just fall in love with this little guy. He seems adorable. And can you even imagine going through something like that?
No, and especially at such a young age.
Yeah, he's 12 years old, and he's already dealing with things like that. And then there's, I don't know.
Yeah, that childhood illness is just, they break my heart. It's
absolutely.
Awful. It's awful.
And my heart's to go out to everybody who has to deal with illness, no matter what the age. But boy, there's just like a special place in my heart for youngsters that have to deal with that.
And kudos to the guy who donated his bone marrow,
absolutely,
or whoever it was. I mean, that's huge.
And the doctors that help make this all happen. Mm-hmm. I mean, unbelievable. Very, very cool. Bunch of heroes right there. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.